So I was studying. I did find interest in astrology, and so I decided to do like like a practice because here in Latvia, where I do channeling lessons, seminars, or whatever, depending on the moment or month of time, I decided to because many people that come to lessons, I would say, they know pretty much about astrology, and then I decided, okay, I wanna because many people are talking about this, I wanna see what's into it, and I was asking to one of the man that comes to the seminars, and I said, okay, let's check out my astrology map and try to describe something there, because I was thinking that astrology is something difficult. Astrology is something stars and something you'd say something difficult and long time to study. It's like a profession and so on. But he was telling about me, and what he told me was surprising, and I was like, well, maybe 50% correct, 50% like I felt it's like imagined out of somewhere, but it's the Vedic astrology. And so I decided to take a study in this. While he was telling me about my astrology, about myself, and so on, I was like, I was like, I I like introduced. Okay, he's talking about something about astrology. I want to call I would say, some being or entity that can explain me more about astrology. And then a man came with a in the channeling, you would say, while I was listening to to that person, came the man with looked to me like something like Chinese, Asiat, whatever, something with a silver color beard, like this, whatever how he looked, but anyway. And he was giving me images, like for example, if you see a person's aura, you see a red fog flying around him, then a green fog, then a yellow fog. And he was looking at this, he saw this, and he was thinking, but he was a channeling able person, and he was thinking, hey, from where this red appeared, from this red color fog appeared, cloud. And then he saw that it's a planet, it comes from a planet, and he said, what does this planet represent? And so on and so on. Also green, also yellow, yellow is sun, and so on and so on. So basically what he was doing, he was like looking at people, and he saw his auras, and then from these auras he was asking, where does the red color come from? Where does the yellow color come from? And then step by step he started to investigate how, for example, red color comes from Mars, and if Mars is closer to that person which has larger red areas in his aura, then the red Mars, the Mars is closer, will affect him more in terms of how the red energy affects. So it could be energy, it could be strength, it could be aggressiveness, it could be ego, and so on. So in my case it's mind. And he also saw that the red, the yellow, they exist more, for example, in the head, and some other colors exist lower on their feet, and so on. So this was the point where I said, well, okay, let's study a little bit astrology. And I did study a little bit astrology, Vedic astrology, and I would say I did a couple of my own readings to persons, other persons, people who are here, and also to Tony. And he was said that that information which I gave is really precise, really accurate, really precise. Although the information wasn't big, it basically was like for one person, whatever he is, said, well, the more you work, the more your stomach will suffer. Stomach will feel pain. And he said, well, yeah, that's actually really correct, because he always, when he feels that he needs to go to work, his stomach feels pain, and he just left work, and he doesn't feel pain anymore for like past 5 years. And what I want to say is that when I learned astrology for like 3 hours. It's like nothing more, because most of the information I received from channeling. And what I want to say is that the astrology readings gave me like At the beginning, I thought that astrology will be something that will predict when you will get married, how many children you will have, that everything is written in the stars, and so on and so on. But when I started to study this, I realized it's nothing to do with the future, past, or everything. It's like something to do with how the energy affects and how you are affected by energies, like planets and everything. For example, mostly on Earth, we are affected by Sun, and we are affected by Earth, and also you would say Moon. But there are like farther planets which we are affected also from. Our character, or everything is affected farther from. And therefore, for example, I did a study to myself. I took the astrology reading myself, and it showed me that Mars is in my head, on my head. I was like, oh, okay, I feel pain many times, and there was written that the more I work, I feel pain in my head. The more I work. So the point of my goal is to don't do work at all. Let things happen by themselves, so I don't feel pain in my head. And this is the most common reason why I don't do anything, because all the time I feel pain in my head. If I go to like with computers or go to like school or something, I don't do it because I feel incredible headaches. So what I would say is also that I can and there was a person that came visiting me, and he said, hey, you do channeling, why should you need some kind of astrology? I said, whoa, astrology. He said, like, astrology is like worthless time spending. I said, whoa. It's like astrology, worthless time spending. I see, you are a complete sun and moon. You are completely being affected by sun and moon. He says, yes, how do you know? And he was also doing this astrology. How do you know? It's like, because I see. I don't need to look in astrology. I already see, because you have a yellow aura and a gray aura. Means that basically you're, how I translate this even further is that when you want to do something, you instantly are being blocked by stress, doubts, and fears, because you don't know whether it will succeed. So basically, you are two opposites. One wants to achieve something, go somewhere, and the straight opposite is that don't do it, stressful, fearful, worries, and so on and so on. His face turned red, and he was like, well, that's correct. He said, well, the astrology, all these 3 hours really helped me to, like, I would say, explain the information a little bit more, explain the information detailed, because I many times have seen the gray areas, the yellow areas, the red areas, green areas, and like I use my own interpretation of it. But when I check that, oh yeah, this is that planet, this is this planet, and you have already the interpretation of it. For example, Venus. It's a planet, also a planet, and in the description it said like this playful, characteristic, musician, artistic, and something like this. It will be something like a female energy. And I asked in channeling what the Venus is about. He said it's basically also denial. Well, the information that you have, I received the information in understanding. It's basically also denial, that you deny something. Like, but should this? Well, I don't know. Should we do this? Well, I don't know. Do you want to go there? I don't know. And it was always a denial. Denial. It's like looking into yourself. You deny everything, and then you start looking into yourself, and you find that the only thing that you can do is do something artistic, because nobody bothers you that you need to do something and you have to do something. You are like completely on your own. And what I can say about astrology, that it's really hard to understand it from descriptional point of view, like the stars that are being described. It's like it can really help you in channeling. That if you are channeling, it can really help you to describe many things even more detailed. And this is the point where I was like, whoa, this, by studying this astrology, it helped me to look at a new perspective. And I don't know the astrology by head. I don't know the meanings of the planets. I don't know. The most difficult is to describe. For example, Ke, what does it mean? HE, what does it mean? SY, what does it mean? What are these? I don't know. But for example, if you tell sun and this is moon, it's like, okay, I understand everything. It's like you just ask the beings, what does the moon represent and how does the moon work actually? And it's like, oh, you have any understanding. And this person is like this, that person is like that, and so on and so on. And so this, what I want to say is that astrology, for those who channel, or for those that don't channel, this can be really a helpful tool to like understand more about energies and something like this. But I wouldn't say that. For example, sometimes I look at a person I already know. I already see and know everything about him, but it takes me so difficult to describe. But once I know the meanings of the planet and everything from the colors, it's like, oh yeah, this means that, this means this means that. So basically, it's a little bit easier to describe something. So in terms of translation, interpretation, it helps me. What I also want to say is that I don't know yet, but I really want to know, for example, when the moon is closer, because I'm a little bit affected by, I mean Mars. Where Mars is closer, I'm a little affected by Mars, and other people around me are affected by Mars. And then when I see when, for example, Venus or Jupiter or something like this is closer, then I see how does actually the planet's energy affect when they are closer. And but I don't study this just for my own interest and hobby. So I hope this video helped you. Subscribe, and also you can find me on my Facebook page. I use Teachings of the Universe. It's a Facebook page, and I will start to put more English content there, so you can feel free to join them. Feel free. Teachings of the Universe. You'll say Art of Peace, but no, I created this Teachings of the Universe much earlier before, even when I didn't start the Art of Peace, but I haven't, I wasn't able to change the name because they said you have more than 200 subscribers there and you cannot change the name. I was like, oh, okay, the Teachings of the Universe it is. So enjoy, good luck, and party, 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 party.